Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Jacqui from the YMCA of Greater Boston. I'm going to be moving you through a Vinyasa flow this morning. Feel free to take any blocks or straps that you might need throughout class. We're going to start in a child's pose. Knees can be together, which is a little more traditional. If you're working on the hips, the knees can come closer towards the edges of the mat. Big toes are going to touch in either option. We're going to sink those hips back. Walk the arms out nice and long to the top. Option to maybe have a grip here where it's the fingertips pressing and the palms are lifted if you want to get into those shoulders a little bit deeper to start. If not, you can let your palms relax. Maybe the forehead comes down to the mat, maybe down to a block. You can massage that forehead side to side. And then just start to find your breath here. Let's take a nice long full inhale through the nose. And then exhaling out of the mouth. And again, big breath in. Sighing it out. I'm just taking a brief scan of the body this morning, noting the way that you woke up, any tension, any tightness. And let's just take a nice side stretch. Walk those hands over to the left corner of the mat. Bring your head and your shoulders with you. Nice long full breath in. And walk it to center. And on the opposite side, walking those hands over to the right corner. Side stretch here, inhale. And exhale, center. Maybe taking another 2 or 3 rounds of breath. Option to set a positive intention, either for your practice, for the day, the remainder of the week, whatever that might be for you this morning. And we'll seal those intentions with breath. Inhaling all the way to the top, filling the lungs. Holding that breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And then gently lift yourself up into a tabletop. Move through a few rounds of cow-cat, stacking those shoulders over your wrists. Inhaling through the nose, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. And then exhaling. Arching the back, dropping the gaze. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling cat. Inhale. And exhale. I'm just taking another maybe 3, 4 rounds of breath, moving at your own pace. Feel free to go faster or slower. And then we'll all meet back at neutral. We're going to set up for a puppy pose. Feel free to take a block here. You're going to keep your hips over those knees and then walk your hands and arms to the top, trying to soften maybe the forehead, maybe your chin or the chest if the shoulders are feeling really open. If you're super far away, and we often are if the shoulders are tight, you can take a block under the forehead or a block under both hands. And then just starting to settle in here. Maybe walking the hands a little more to the top. And then gently start to walk back, finding that table. And we'll move right into down dog. Tuck those toes. Lift your knees and your hips. Pedal out those legs. Shake out the head, yes and no. Back and forth. Maybe walking the hands just a little bit closer. Feet a little closer to the hands rather. Big breath in. And sigh it out. We're going to take that walk to the top. Finding a ragdoll once you're there. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you'd like. Hands over either elbow. Shifting that weight side to side. And maybe you start to straighten the legs if you want to get into those hamstrings. And we'll lower the hands down to the mat. Take 2 tented walks here. all the way around, side to side, reaching towards your ankles, your heels, the back of the leg. And then bringing it back to center. We inhale for that halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Big breath in. Reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift to down dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. Shaking out the head, yes and no. Back and forth. From that downward dog, the right leg's gonna lift high. And on the exhale, we stack those hips, heel to butt. Right hip nice and high to the ceiling, full breath in. And on the exhale, gently lower it down. The opposite side, left leg lifting high. And exhale to stack, heel to butt, left hip high. Inhale. And exhale, lower it down. Take that walk to the top, meeting in our ragdoll once more. We're gonna find the non-dominant side, so opposite forearm in front. Shifting that weight side to side, straightening the legs just a little bit more. Hips are nice and high. And then lower those hands, take your 2 circus tents, walk it out. Maybe this time you grab hold of the back of the calf. You can look over the shoulder for a deeper stretch. Again, optional, so if reaching towards the back here is a little too much right now, you can still use those tented fingertips. We'll meet back at center, inhaling for that halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, release, forward fold. Halfway lift. Downward dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. Taking 3 rounds of breath here, maybe walking your toes a smidge closer towards those wrists. Fingers are spread wide, pushing up and away from the mat. Full breath in. Full breath out. Right leg lifts high. Come right into stacking those hips again, and then you're gonna take some hip openers. So that right knee is gonna lift and come back down. Lift and come back down. If the hip is super tight, you're probably hearing a lot of cracking and popping. Let's take one more on this side. And then lower that leg down. On the opposite side, left leg lifts. Come right into stacking those hips. And then we're gonna start to lift and lower down. Lift. Lower it down. You're trying to open up into the groin and those hip flexors. One more here. And then lower that foot. This time taking 2 big steps to the top. Inhaling for that halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Big breath in. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale for that halfway lift. Exhaling, jump back and move through that chaturanga. High to low, upward dog, downward dog. Find your breath. Inhale and exhale. Think of sucking in the tummy, drawing your navel upwards towards the spine. Right leg lifts high. Exhale for a low lunge. You're gonna step the foot to the top. We're gonna modify this morning to start. You're gonna lower that left knee, sweep the arms up high. Still holding on to that beach ball or pumpkin for a moment. Gaze is forward, full breath in. On the exhale, we open the arms out to the right for a twist. Trying to look behind the right shoulder, fingers are spread, thumbs point up. Round of breath in. And sighing it out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale to release. Frame that foot, stepping back, moving through your flow. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high. Exhale for that low lunge. Right knee's gonna lower down and modify. Sweeping the arms up high. Find your pumpkin, big breath in. And on that exhale, this time we open the arms out to the left, coming into that twist, looking behind the left shoulder as much as you can. Fingers are spread. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale to sweep up. And exhale, release. Frame that foot, stepping back, moving through your vinyasa. And we meet back in that downward dog. From down dog, right leg lifts high. We find that low lunge again. This time we're gonna keep that left knee up, sweep the arms up high. Once more, coming into that twist. If you feel like you need to keep that modification, go for it. Otherwise, we're gonna look over the right shoulder. Staying steady with your breathing. And we inhale, sweep back up. And exhale, release. From that down dog, left side lifting high. Exhale, low lunge. Keep the right knee up if you can. Otherwise, that modification is there if you'd like. Setting up for that twist. Arms opening out to the left. Keeping the bend in that front knee. Looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, release. Meeting back in your downward dog. Right leg lifts high. Exhale for crescent lunge. So you're gonna step to the top, pausing for a moment. That back heel is gonna stay lifted. And then sweep the arms up high. You might have to walk your right foot over a little bit. So take a peek if that back heel is touching the mat. It should be up. Big toes are forward. We're gonna set up for a twist. Hands are gonna come to heart center. You're gonna hook the left elbow over your right knee. Hands pressed together at heart center. Maybe looking over the shoulder. Finding your breath, inhaling. Exhaling. One more. And then gently release, come on out. We'll sweep the arms up. And exhale, chaturanga. Bring it on back to your downward dog. Left leg lifts high. Crescent lunge. So now the back right heel will stay up. Sweeping the arms up. Holding on to that pumpkin or beach ball. Make sure your back right heel is lifted. And then we twist. Hands at heart. Right elbow hooking over the left knee. Palms pressing together at heart center. Maybe looking up over that shoulder. One more breath. And release. Frame that foot, step it back. And meeting back in our downward dog. Right leg lifting high, pyramid. Stepping to the top, you're gonna walk the hands back to frame that foot. Maybe you have blocks at home or tented fingertips are fine. We're gonna fold over the right leg. Think ribs towards the thigh, nose towards the knee or the shin. And then an extra option this morning, if you wanna rotate your wrists here, walking the fingers back. That's gonna go a lot deeper into the back of the right leg. We'll stay for 2 more breaths. On that second exhale, we're gonna take half moon. You're going to reframe the right foot and step into the right foot, lifting the left. Now I'm going to recommend a block under the right hand, 3 to 5 inches diagonal of your pinky if you feel like this is wobbly for you. Once you feel like you have a steady space, left hand can come to the hip, or it might reach for the ceiling. We often think of the body like a slice of bread here in a toaster. So everything, you're engaging the muscles, sucking it in, maybe looking over that left shoulder. Fingers are pointing, toes are pointing. Now, if you want to take a bind here, you're going to bend the left knee. Hand's going to grab hold of the foot, and then you're going to pull that foot away from the body. And you'll actually feel the back of the right leg, or you should feel the back of the right leg, going a little deeper here. Sometimes we call this a sugar cane. And then very gently, you're going to release, lower that foot, bring the hand back down, heel toe, shake it out. You'll inhale for that halfway lift, and exhale to chaturanga. And then we'll take it on the opposite side, that left leg lifting high, pyramid. Stepping to the top, you're going to walk the hands back to frame, making sure that the legs are straight. Bring your feet a little closer together if the knee is bending. And then we're folding over the left side. One side is usually a little more forgiving than the other. Think of bringing your nose towards the knee or the shin. Ribs towards the thigh. If you like that option of rotating the wrist the first time around, you can take that again. Staying for 2 more rounds. On that second exhale, finding half moon. And feel free to go right into the bind if you like it. That right leg's going to lift. Finding those 3 to 5 inches diagonal of the pinky toe. Maybe looking over the right shoulder. Fingers are spread, toes are pointing. And then if you're going for the bind, we're going to bend that knee. Grab hold of the foot. And then you're pulling that foot away from you so that the back of the left leg, as well as that right shoulder, should all be opening, super active here. And then gently release, come on out. Lower the foot in the hand. Heel toe, shake it out, halfway lift. Chaturanga. Meeting back in your downward dog. Right leg lifts high. Lizard lunge. You're going to step to the top right corner of the mat. For you at home, you might have to go a little further up into that corner. Lots of options in your lizard lunge, so you can stay like this with the left knee lifted. If you're not feeling a whole lot of engagement, you're going to lean forward so that left leg, you start to feel the quad here stretching. If it's too much, you're going to lower that left knee, untuck your toes, okay, relax the foot, and then you might stay here. You might lower down onto those forearms. If you're working on groin or hip flexors this morning, right hand coming to the right knee, you're going to roll onto the blade of the foot so you can see the sole here. Now the hand can stay if that hip needs a push. If it feels okay, the hand's going to come back down. You might even lower to your forearms. In all of those options, you can keep the left knee up. It's just a little bit more of a challenge. It's there if you'd like. And then we'll set up for our twisted lizard. So wherever you are, the left knee will come down. You're gonna reach over that right knee, regardless if it's on the blade or not. And then you're holding on to the left foot. So bend into your left knee here to grab the foot. Ideally, we're bringing the heel towards the tush. This might take a few rounds of breath. So you're gonna inhale. And on that exhale, bring it closer. 2 more. 1 more. Big breath in. Exhale, pull and hold. 3, 2, 1. Very gently, you're going to release. And we move right into our half pigeon. So you're going to take that right foot, scooch it over to the left side. Your knee should replace where that foot was. And I know I say this a lot, but you want your heel out of the groin. So very often it sort of sneaks back in. You want to think that your shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Now you might stay in this upright seat, that's fine. If you feel like folding over, if that feels all right, you can come onto the forearms. If you feel like you need a little lift here, a bolster under the forearms, a pillow, a couch pillow, whatever works here. Eventually, over time, I'm going to scooch back here. You want to be able to fold over the lap and walk the arms out long. And again, if you feel like taking the bolster or a block or something else that works well for you, this can be pretty intense. You can wedge a block here under the thickness of the thigh and the tush. Notice that the back left leg is long, the top of the foot is flush to the mat. Staying another 2 or 3 rounds of breath wherever you might be this morning. And then very gently, you're gonna bring it back to a seat. We're gonna swing the left leg around front for a one-sided forward fold. Get your sole here into the flesh of the thigh. You're gonna sweep the arms up, big breath in, and exhale down that leg. Nose to knee or the shin. Maybe you have a clasp here behind the foot, or you can pull on the toes. Big breath in, big breath out. And then gently, let's bring it back to the top. Loosely cross those legs. You're just going to rock over back to your down dog. And we'll take it all on the other side here. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Left leg lifting high. Lizard lunge. Step it to the top left corner. Shimmy your way over if you need space. And then again, your options here. So maybe the right knee stays lifted on this side. You might just keep the palms down. You can lower down to the forearms if you liked that variation. You can still keep that right knee up and also open up the groin on the left. So rolling onto the blade here. Lizard lunge has a lot of options. You take what works for you this morning. One side can feel very different than the other. And on the next breath, let's start to find half pigeon. You're going to walk the left foot to the right side, lowering the knee to replace where the foot was. You can see a little bit better on this side that my foot is very far away from the groin. You don't want to cave it in here. Shin is parallel to the top of the mat. And then, like I said, if this side feels different and you just want to stay upright, that's fine. Maybe over time we are folding over the lap here. You can stay with the forearms or a bolster or a block. And then eventually walking the arms out long, letting your forehead, the chest, the belly come down. See if you can walk your hands any more to the top, zip up that spine. And then walk it back. Right leg's gonna swing around front. Sole of the foot here is flush to the inside of that thigh. We sweep the arms up on an inhale and exhale down the leg. Nose to knee, ribs towards the thigh. And then gently release, walk back up to the top. From here, we're gonna bend the knees. We're gonna set up for Navasana or boat pose. So you wanna walk your heels as close as you can towards your bottom. I'm gonna give you a lot of options here. So option one, which I think is the most challenging, is the arms are extended forward, fingers are spread. There's no bind, there's no hold. I do recommend taking a bind if this is new for you. So those two options are either pointer and middle finger are gonna wrap around the big toes, thumbs will reinforce, or you can take a bind around the blades of the feet. So really up to you, your preference. Wherever you go this morning, we're still gonna walk them in just a little closer. You want to engage your core, so nice and tight here. If it's tempting to roll back, just make sure you don't have anything at home you're gonna, hit your head on or whatever. We want to start with lifting, just a hover here. You're gonna find your balance. You might notice right away if you're not binding, you can change your mind. And then once you're comfortable with this hover, just like an inch or so off the ground, we take a 90-degree lift. So ideally, your knees and your ankles are in the same line. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you'll start to notice that that's when your back sort of wants to meet the mat. Instead, think of your ribs meeting the tops of the thighs. So you're still engaging, you're sucking it in. Eventually, over time, we want to extend the legs. Now, this is your full Navasana or your full boat pose. My core is engaged here. The shoulders are engaged, arms are long, legs are long. You're finding your breath as you inhale and exhale. Big breath in and a big breath out. Gently release, lower the feet. We're gonna take this again. Feel free to take the same option, or if you like something else, you wanna try something else. I'm gonna go for the big toe bind. So we're gonna walk those heels in. You're nice and tight here. Remember that the first time you lift is just a hover. You're finding your balance, tightening up the tummy here, engaging your core. When we're ready, we're gonna lift 90 degrees, or if you're ready to go all the way, feel free to extend fully. And then eventually those legs lift here. Now, if you want to go deeper, we're going to bend the elbows and pull the ribs towards the thighs. I am shaking a little bit, super engaged, that's okay. Finding your breath as you inhale and exhale. Last breath in. Exhale, release. We'll take it one more time just so you can see what it's like without the bind. It's a lot more challenging here. So arms are extended forward. You're gonna walk those heels in. We find that hover, right? And if you've already taken it without the bind, you know that this is a lot more difficult here. We'll start to lift 90 degrees. Try to keep your ribs and your thighs close. And then eventually we extend. So big shake here. Full breath in. Full breath out. You might grab those toes to get a little higher, or the blades. And then gently release. There's your Navasana. We're gonna come fully reclined here, nice and long. Take a full body stretch, reaching the arms behind you. Pointing those toes, big breath in. Big breath out. And then bending into those knees. Let's take a couple windshield wipers here. Side to side. Try to get those knees all the way down towards the mat or towards the floor. And then from here, keeping the knees bent, we're gonna take half pigeon again, this time from our back. So we already did that from down dog. Right ankle here over the left knee. Think of that shin, right, parallel towards the ceiling this time. And then your choice if you wanna bind behind the thigh or over the shin. Over the shin is a little more challenging. It's there if you'd like. And you're pushing that right knee away. So sometimes it pops or clicks as you're trying to push away. Left leg pulls in towards the ribs. Full breath in. Sighing it out. 2 more. One more. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Go ahead and let go. Knock the knees if you'd like, or just come over to the other side. Left ankle over the right knee here. Whatever bind works on this side, you're pushing away the left knee. Find your breath as you inhale. Exhale. 2 more. One more. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Knock those knees side to side. We're gonna take one little twist here, keeping those knees bent. Your right leg's gonna lift up, wrap over the left. Left hand is gonna push the knees down to the left. Right arm has a few options. It can reach out into a letter T. Notice the palm is down, so my shoulder blades are flush to the mat. If you wanna go a little deeper into that shoulder, right arm can reach up and back. Maybe you close your eyes for a breath or two. And then gently release. Come back to center. If you've sort of moved the hips over, scooch them back to the middle. And then on the other side, left leg's gonna lift, wrap up and over the right. Right hand pulls the legs down to the right side. Left arm can either open out in that T, shoulder blades flush, palm is flush, or if you liked that extended opener here, left arm can reach out and back. And then bring it back to the middle. Uncross the legs. Take any other asana we didn't get to this morning. Otherwise, go ahead and let your arms and legs splay out wherever is most comfortable. Feel free to take blocks under either heel, a pillow, blanket, whatever you might need here. And then softening the breath. Let the eyes be heavy. And relaxing your facial muscles, unclenching the teeth, unfurrowing the brows. Shavasana. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, gently rolling over onto either side. Pressing yourself up and forward. We'll bring hands together at heart center. Together as a community, we inhale. And exhale. Lifting the hands to the center of the forehead. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Again, my name is Jacqui. I look forward to sharing space with you again soon.